Hey, I'm Ken. I'm a primary school teacher in Western Australia, and before that I was studying architecture, and I'm trying to create a golf clothing brand. Where it started, in 2023-2024 I was playing a lot of golf, 3-4 times a week, getting ready for a trip to Scotland for my uncle's 70th. Also with teaching, spent a lot of time in the sun. So in WA we have high UV for 3/4 of the year. I was buying a lot more UV safe clothing, I was talking about it a bit more. Some of the golf stuff is probably a little bit dorky or not suited to our climate. At the same time, I was trying to do stuff to switch my brain off from work. So my girlfriend taught me how to sew and just doing a bit more drawing and that sort of thing. It just started as me playing around with an app on my, like a font app on my iPad. And then that led to the first logo. And then playing around with golf clubs and trying to make it into a sun. And honestly, it was just something to switch my brain off from work. Teaching is one of those jobs where you can always do more. So I just needed that sort of creative outlet and learning new things to switch off my brain. Invariably, I ended up getting consumed by the design stuff and started really getting into it. Prototyped some stuff and picked apart different clothing. Lucky enough that my girlfriend had a Singer sewing machine and also what we call in Australia an overlocker, which in America is a serger. So I could play around with all the domestic stitch types, just getting to learn the different qualities, and stitches are way more complicated than I thought. I can hem my own pants now. Thought I'd make this video just to share designing and the ups and the downs and, you know, maybe some dead ends and some stuff that I'm happy with. I was looking at fabrics and sourcing the different fabrics and doing a lot of background knowledge reading on how the quality of the different fabrics and how they work. And I came in with the original intent to use like wool and natural fibers, which I still want to do, but they're also very expensive, hard to source. You can get swatches for color and getting samples of fabrics and working with them, and then they definitely pile up. So I'm still trying to keep in mind that I'm using what I have left, but it allows you to, when you're doing your prototypes and you're sewing stuff together, it allows you to use the actual fabric. And I've got woven labels made up as well so that I can use that excess fabric to make club head covers or something like that. And I'll record that process as well if people are interested. Just played around with copying this like doctor's hat from the 90s. Yeah, so I could pick apart the hats, and so I took the measurements and created this hat, which drew it up on Illustrator. Like cotton, the stitching is really cool, the thread is really I like the bright orange thread. Obviously this wasn't very sun protective, it was just something I just wanted to play around with. After the cap, I'm still really playing around with making like a bucket hat with a boonie, so it's got a bit of use. It's out of light, sort of stretchy material. It's like a sporty poly fabric that's got like sort of a ripstop, but it feels really soft. The original idea was that these would be like sort of elastic that you could put, you know, tees or golf balls or whatever in them. That was the original idea of boonies, is that you'd stick branches and stuff in there to camouflage for hitting an arm. So yeah, trying to turn that into a bit of a useful golf hat, but on testing, there's a few things that I want to change, namely being the banding. I don't want it to be stiff, I want it to be slightly stretchy so that you could maybe fit golf balls or a packet of tees or something in there, like make it a bit more useful. And also the hat itself, when you're wearing it, it sits just below your eyeline a little bit. So I've had to change the measurements on it. And then also the thing that has been taking up time recently is been playing around with like running caps, just because the material's nice. That's a fractal one that I use all the time. I unstitched one and put in snap buttons in the hat between the sweatband and the outside fabric in there so that you could click in like a removable shade cloth. You can have it as a run cap, like a running hat, or you can clip in the sunshade if you needed it, and then it's like a bit more multi-purpose. You don't have to have it, the shade cloth stitched into the hat. Getting clothing made up. So I'm currently designing a long sleeve polo that's still comfortable in the heat. While I'm doing a polo, I did a raglan this t-shirt. And it was just simply because when I was sewing up different t-shirts, that was the most comfortable pattern to swing a golf club in. I was talking to a mate that plays baseball and he was like, yeah, they're baseball tees. I hadn't even clocked it, thinking I was being all original and smart when that's why they were originally designed up. Which is a tee of a drawing that I did. And that's like a full vector. I did a pencil drawing and then I photocopied that and put it on my iPad, and then it's one of the Adobe apps on the iPad where you can draw in vectors. So I just drew the pencil drawing again in vectors. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that came out. Obviously that's short sleeve, so it's not very sun protective. And then I'm also making UV sleeves so that like any of the short sleeve stuff that I create can, that you can still protect yourself from the sun. And these are like cycling gear. The idea being that anything I sell is gonna have, except for the first cap, anything I sell is gonna have some sort of sun protective quality and be light and good in hot climates. I've made a Shopify, which is online now. I've only been able to take photos of the first 5 panel and post that. So anyone that buys one of those hats, I'll throw in a sticker, which isn't much, but as you'll see if you look at my Instagram, I've only been telling a few of my close mates so far that this is what I'm doing, so there's not much, it's just me. But yeah, thanks. That's pretty much it. That's been my last 10 weeks. I want to try and make more videos and content. Yeah, so I'll try and make it as easy to watch as possible. Excuse any boring bits, what you might want to see. I'm all ears. If you want to see more, keep watching. Thanks.